It's almost taken as granted that sales involves a lot of rejections. But let me show you how to win and close almost every deal in sales. Before we begin, let me tell you the concept of funnel in selling. Basically, funnel refers to the journey of a prospect in becoming a customer. On one end of the funnel, you have a potential customer, and on the other end of the funnel, you have a real customer. The funnel has evolved with technology in the last 100 years. We can now move prospects through the funnel in a much more automated manner using data analytics. But the basics of the funnel still remain the same. On one end of the funnel, marketing still has to work on brand awareness to get potential customers enter the funnel. And on the other end of the funnel, sales still has to close the sale to create real customers. In this video, I'll focus on sales. I have a separate video where I focus on marketing. The very first thing in sales that I would like you to understand is to never sell the prospect your product. In fact, help the prospect buy the thing that they want. Now this sounds a little confusing. So let me explain this with an example. There was a software company selling healthcare application to prospects who were doctors. One of the big claimed benefits of this application was that it significantly improved the productivity of the doctor. But the sales guy never talked about this claimed benefit in selling the product. Instead, the sales guy asked the doctor as to what would they do with the 3 hours of time that the application saved them daily. One doctor said that he'll finally be able to go and see his son's baseball game. He felt bad that he had not been able to spend time with his kids, being a busy doctor. This discovery led the sales guy to help this doctor buy more time for baseball game and time with kids through this product. On the other hand, it was a totally different answer with another doctor. He said he would be able to spend more face time with his patients. He felt that a lot of his time was wasted in entering data into the current application, taking face time away from the patients. He valued spending more face time with his patients in order to heal them. This discovery led the sales guy to help this doctor buy more face time with his patients through this product. The sales guy was able to comfortably win and close the sales with both these doctors. Note that in one case, the sales guy was selling time for baseball games and more time with kids, and in the other case, the sales guy was selling more face time with patients. Thus, in both cases, the product was not being sold directly. Instead, the sales guy was helping these doctors buy what they wanted, which was different for both of them. Most salespeople guess as to what the prospect wants. Even worse, they assume what the prospect wants and start pitching. This results in a lot of rejections. But instead, the sales guy should find out what the prospect wants as related to the product's claimed benefits. Once it is known, then the sales guy can laser focus on the same and sell with a lot less rejections. People primarily buy any product based on some emotional desire and then justify their purchase logically. Thus, you need to dig deeper to find that emotional reason. Once you know it, then you can link that back to your product benefit. If you do this right, there would be a lot less rejections. In fact, the prospect would feel great buying your product and happily become your customer. But any prospect would not just open up about their emotional desires, wants, and needs. So there's a process for all of this. It's both an art and a science. On your very first interaction with the prospect, you should take immediate control, almost within the first few seconds. You must project sharpness, enthusiasm, and expertise. If it's a face-to-face meeting, this could be done with body language. But if it's on the phone, then it can be done through tonality. The reason why this is important is because as you move to the next step of gathering intelligence and asking questions, you don't want to come across as an interrogator asking questions, but rather a trusted physician asking questions. If prospect perceives you as an expert, like trusted physician, they would be more willing to open up. But as you gather intelligence by asking questions, you should also be building rapport simultaneously. Note that our logical brain is on the periphery, but our emotional brain is much deeper. Building rapport is like peeling the onion. The purpose of rapport building is to access the emotional brain to understand their real emotional desires, wants, and needs. One of the key ingredients of rapport building is active listening, as it conveys that you care. The more you care, the more they will open up. You should try to go even deeper to understand their foundational belief systems and values that they have built over a longer period of time. This would help you in understanding exactly what they want so that you can then link it back to the product you're selling. There are many hacks to do this right and uncover the real emotional desires, wants, and needs. One method that a lot of salespeople use is to end the formal meeting early to leave a good amount of time to talk informally. In fact, Howard Stern, the radio star, uses this in a very interesting way. He tries to end the interviews with guests by saying, "We've covered it all, we've talked about everything." Following that, he says that since the formal interview is now over, let's talk about the real stuff. This relaxes and eases the guest to open up. The next 30 to 45 minutes is the real gem of the interview. This is where you come to know the real person. Similarly, the sales guy should pay more attention to what the prospect says after the formal meeting. The other hack used to uncover the underlying motivation is the involvement question. This is what was used in the example I gave earlier when the sales guy was selling the healthcare application to doctors. Basically, the doctors were asked to imagine owning this application, that is getting them involved. Then they were asked as to what would they do with the 3 hours of time that it would save them daily. They thought about it. One doctor said, "I'll be able to go and see my kids' baseball game and even spend more time with my kids." The other doctor said, "I can spend more face time with patients." So these doctors were giving out the tip as to how to sell to them. From this point on, all the sales guy had to do was to link their individual needs to the healthcare application that he was selling. Note that most customers don't clearly know what they need. It's mostly fuzzy. This is the original reason why the consulting industry was born. Consultants are ideally hired by the customer to help in discovering the need of the customer. So the sales guy should be like a consultant. After discovering the need, the sales guy should link the need to the product and pitch accordingly. At this point of the sales process, you may still get an objection, but this will be a totally different objection than what most salespeople get when they're just selling the product. Let me explain why. Since you're now selling what they really want, you have moved to their side of the table. That is, become their partner. You're trying together to get the prospect what they really want. They will not have an objection to what they really want. But the objection could be due to cost. It's possible that the prospect cannot pay all the money upfront. As a partner, you can come up with financing options or other creative ways to pay for it. Once you've figured out the money part, you can ask for the order. If you're still not able to close the order, then you must follow up to transfer certainty. Some of the prospects have high action threshold. For them, you must use the strategy of amplifying pain, that is the cost of not having the product. In the discovery phase, you might have also discovered as what it means to them for not having the product and the associated pain. Use the strategy of amplifying pain to lower the action threshold. If done right, you can close the sale for even people with high action threshold. Note that a lot of salespeople start the sales process by talking about the pain and problems. That always has a negative effect and you get a lot of rejections. So instead, use the strategy of amplifying pain much later in the sales process. That is, in this objection phase of the sales process. Thus, in summary, if you follow the method I discussed, you will be able to win and close almost every deal in sales. The most important thing to remember is to never sell your prospect your product. In fact, help the prospect buy the thing that they want. Come learn more about it at Uptinker. We teach you our unique sales methods and hacks that is going to help you in building your startup. Reach out to us using the link below. And thank you for watching.